How are y'all doing today? My name is Herbert Frazier, and I'm here to talk to you today about my critical essay in my intercultural communications class. My essay is over sports. To be more specific, my essay is over sports and how they are male sex dominant, how they are or were racially and ethnically dominant in certain sports, and how it has a sexuality issue that kind of refuses to be addressed these days. For my first point, the male sex dominant. The top three go getters in revenue when it comes to the sports are the MLB, the NFL, and the NBA. The NBA brought in $5 billion last year. The MLB brought in $9.5 billion, and the NFL brought in $13 billion. So, but the one thing they all have in common is all three of those sports are male sex dominant, and two of those three sports have a women's league. The NBA has a WNBA, and the MLB has a softball league, which I think a lot of people do not know. But as far as money and viewers wise, the male side dominates it, and it's not even close. Um, with those top three, it is the distance between the two are ridiculous. The highest paid woman in the WNBA makes about 110,000 a year. The highest paid male, which is LeBron James as of this year, makes 130 million. So LeBron James makes. I saw a statistic that LeBron James makes more than every woman in the WNBA, which is crazy. And then it gets even worse when it comes to the MLB compared to softball. We have MLB characters who are making 300 million a year. Well, I'm not gonna say in a year. They're making 300 million over a course of maybe 10 years. When it is hard for a woman to make a million in over 10 years. Um, the thing about the male sex dominant is the fact that statistically women are better in basketball as far as shooting and passing, but they don't get as much viewers or anything or money as the male leagues do. People watch the male leagues because males have been bigger, stronger, and faster. Not statistically better, not fundamentally better, but because they have the chance to make the exciting play, or they get up and down the court a little faster, or the gap in physical abilities are not as far and wide as women. It makes the male game that much more easier to watch, or much more exciting to watch. Like the average male basketball player is 6'6". The average woman basketball player is 5'9". They have women that are on the taller side. Brittany Griner, who is 6'8", is the tallest woman in the WNBA. But the problem is with it is that if these women are just as good, why can't they play in the NBA? Because there are some women out there that can beat some of the men in the NBA. They won't admit it, but it's statistically true, and it's factually true. I guess for my second point, it would be the racially divide. I mean, in order to fix the gender bias in the NBA or the MLB or the soccer leagues, you have to understand that it has not been that long that it was racially biased. Take baseball, for example. Baseball was created in 1845 in America. It didn't start in America, but it came to America in 1845. They didn't break the color barrier in baseball until 1950. So it took 105 years just for them to accept another man. And from 1950 to now, um, people of color, of all colors, have been able to play in the MLB. So if it took them 105 years to create, to allow a person of color to play, then I would say it would be another 100 years before a woman is allowed to step on the baseball diamond. And it goes the same way for basketball. It took basketball 60 years before they allowed a person of color to play in the leagues with them. So we're not even 100 years removed from that yet. For I guess for us to be thinking about a woman being able to play with them, just because, I mean, I hate to say it, but women are looked upon as they're not physically gifted as males. They're not big. They're not fast. They're not strong. When it's not the case, because we've all seen women who can who can create these feats just as a man can do. Like basketball, at first women couldn't dunk, but then they're becoming dunkers. Brittany Griner, Lisa Leslie. We have Brianna Stewart, who's on the shorter side. She's about 6'3", who can dunk. So, I mean, the racially divide. You would have to really pay attention to that, because even still to this day we have a racial issue when it comes to sports. Like, we have the stereotype that white men can't jump or black men can't play quarterback. They're just not intellectual enough. So the black men in football play the skill positions because they're fast. But it's definitely not the case. You have both on both sides who are skilled enough to play receiver, or who are skilled enough and intellectual enough to play quarterback. And then my last point, which is something that is just going on major worldwide, is the sexuality issue. In the male-dominated sports, the sexuality issue is almost like never talked about. And it's not talked about simply for the fact that it's like an unwritten rule that, what do you do behind your closed doors at home is your business. Just kind of don't bring it to the locker room. So it's a very big issue that is going on right now that most people are shy to talk about, even the media. They had one openly gay NFL player to come out, and he was basically shunned out of the league because of his sexual orientation, which is crazy because he was the best defender in the best league in college. So it was kind of crazy. But in every other major sport, there's no openly active gay male athlete in America. Those are my 3 main points, and I would say give the essay a read. I think you'll enjoy it.